Well, happy Friday, everybody. Hope you're all doing well and have had a good week since Tuesday. And a couple of business items before we get into our normal routine today. One is that I have closed the entries for the 500 subscriber giveaway, and I will be doing the draw for the 3 winners on next Tuesday, which is the 19th, I believe, the day after my wife's birthday. Her birthday is the 18th, and so on the 19th, we'll do the 500 subscriber giveaway. As of yet, none of the postcards have come in, but that does not surprise me because I know the postal system can be a hair slow. And not worried about that, but when all the cards are in, I'm going to do a special video, and we'll get to see all the beautiful cards from all the different places they've come from. But I'm trusting y'all that you're all good, honest people and have mailed your cards in, so there we go. So be sure to tune in on Tuesday for the draw to see if you are first, second, or third place winner. And I want you to know, even if you don't win anything, I do appreciate you. I love every one of you, and we wouldn't be continuing with this channel if it wasn't for your support and encouragement. So thank you so much to each and every one of you. All right, let's get on with today's agenda. We're going to do 4 shout-outs as usual. The first one is to Florentin Tise. And Florentin is a very, 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 I probably couldn't add enough berries, gifted classical guitarist, also a very gifted pianist and musician in general, and actually teaches music at a school, and but gifted in his own right, and actually has put out a album of piano music, which you can get on, I think I got it off mine on iTunes. I don't know if it's available on Amazon Music or not, but it's Piano for Prayer by Florentin. It's Florentin, Florentin Tise, T-I-S-E. Please check out his channel and give him some love and support, and go to Amazon Music or Apple Music and check out his album. Beautiful. I have a copy myself and listen to it quite often. So anyway, that's the first shout out. The second one is to Alex Coin Roll Hunter, a young fellow who is very dedicated to his hobby of coins and coin collecting and looking for silver and other things, and will go through rolls and rolls and rolls of coins looking for the odd gem that's hiding in there. But has a great little YouTube channel, and encourage you to check out Alex Coin Roll Hunter. Next one is, some of you know of, I'm sure, is Gareth, who has a channel called drasticg. And Gareth started off fairly small and then somehow managed to catch a wave and has gone up into the thousands of viewers now. Is doing very, very well, but still a lovely, great guy, and encourage you to support him. And the reason I'm mentioning him is the story we're going to have today is quasi at his request, because he said he likes war stories or things to do with military, and it's probably because he's in Her Majesty's Royal Army. Anyway, Gareth, today's story is for you. And the fourth one I'm going to shout out is Moon, just M-O-O-N. And the reason I'm shouting out Moon is the Groaner today comes to us courtesy of Moon. All right, we've shouted those out. Let's get on with our story of the day. Well, you've all heard of those nasty things called landmines, and probably have seen more movies than that where there have been marine or underwater mines to blow up ships. How many of you know that originally what we now call landmines and marine mines were called torpedoes? That's right. When we say torpedo, we think of those self-propelled little underwater missiles that are fired from submarines to blow up ships. But originally, torpedoes were stationary and blew up when contacted, or when the switch was activated. So anyway, today is the story behind those nasty little devices. Or, well, maybe not so little, but nasty devices. Let's get into it. And today's story is coming from Civil War Curiosities by Webb Garrison. At Mobile Bay in August of 1864, Union Rear Admiral David G. Glasgow Farragut gained a special kind of immortality. Knowing his ship could have a hole blown in it at any second, he reputedly cried to his subordinates, "Damn the torpedoes and full speed ahead." Explosive devices to which Farragut referred weren't remotely like present-day self-propelled explosive tubes. Rather, they were powder-filled stationary devices designed to detonate on contact. Confederate General Gabriel J. Rains, who began experimenting with explosives soon after his 1827 graduation from West Point, was largely responsible for their use by the Confederacy during the Civil War. Some of his early sub-terra torpedoes, which today would be called landmines, accounted for a number of Federal casualties at Yorktown, Virginia. Early submarine mortar shells, tested by Rains, were precisely what the name implies: ordinary mortar shells made waterproof and rigged to explode under the surface. Political and military leaders on both sides of the conflict denounced the use of these fiendish devices fashioned by Rains. Still, Rains put the underwater varieties to use in the James River not long after Yorktown. Soon a great hue and cry was raised in both the North and the South about employment of such diabolical hidden explosives. Disgruntled at official reaction to his torpedoes, Rains was, for a time, assigned to duty as chief of Richmond's Bureau of Conscription. After May 1863, however, he resumed work on his explosive devices and developed types that held 300 pounds of powder and were detonated when an electrical switch was moved. Before the conflict ended, expert workmen on both sides were manufacturing horological torpedoes, equipped with timing devices so they could be set to go off at the desired moment. Federals, who at first castigated the use of torpedoes, quickly went to work devising varieties of their own for use on land and in the water. No other radical innovation challenged the torpedo for first place as an ultra-modern tool of battle. Again and again it was found to be effective against infantry, cavalry, and naval vessels. In Georgia's Ogeechee River, the USS Montauk was headed downstream at a moderate speed on the morning of February 28, 1863. A report made by her second assistant engineer detailed what happened at 9:35 a.m. A violent, sudden, and seemingly double explosion took place. Water gained rapidly on the steam pumps. In short time, it was from 5 to 6 inches deep in the engine room floor. Assistant engineers Potts, McCartney, and Green came from their stations in the turret, reporting that it was a torpedo that had exploded under the vessel. The gunboats Seneca, Dawn, and Wissahickon sent men to assist. When floor plates at the side of the boiler were removed, I found the center of effect from the torpedo's explosion to be directly in a vertical line. Force had driven the rib of the vessel up about 6 inches. The plate iron shell, or bottom of the vessel, had fractured along a line of rivets about 2 feet to the port side of center, and then again diagonally starboard and aft. By 6 p.m., the amount of leakage was reduced so much that one steam pump kept the bilge clear of water. Numerous other ironclads were much less fortunate than was the Montauk. At Mobile Bay, a single torpedo sent the Osage to the bottom. 2 or more exploded almost simultaneously to destroy the USS Tecumseh early in the same battle. During the long siege of Charleston, perhaps the most spectacular Confederate success stemmed from having sunk a mighty battleship with a single torpedo. This explosive is believed to have been of an unusual barrel shape, perfected late in the conflict. Only a fraction of torpedoes put into service found their prey, however. At Charleston, defenders of the port city shouted with joy as they saw Admiral Samuel F. DuPont's flagship, the USS New Ironsides, cast anchor directly over a torpedo that held 2,000 pounds of powder. Their elation was premature. Before the device could be detonated, a wagon ran over the wire. Once the wire was broken, the torpedo was impotent. Today, the torpedo is associated exclusively with naval warfare. During the Civil War, it was the only new weapon to be almost universally used on land and in water late in the conflict. The long-range impact of a Confederate general's device almost equals that of making wooden warships obsolete by shielding them with coats of iron. So there you have it. The story behind where landmines and marine mines came from, or torpedoes as they were known at the time. Well, now on to that special moment that everybody awaits each week, the Groaner of the week. And as I said, this week's Groaner is brought to you courtesy of Moon, who sent it to me. And so if you really, really like it, go to Moon's channel. I'll put links to the 4 channels in the description, and tell them what a great joke it was. If you don't like it, then you can, in the comments, you can blame me for passing it along to you. How's that? Alrighty, let's get to it. Well, there's an elderly preacher who had been in the same congregation for, 30 years or more, and was well known and liked by his parishioners. But unfortunately, because of some health issues and misdiagnoses and incorrect treatments, etc., he was dying and laying in his deathbed and only had hours probably until the end. And he called to his wife and he said, "Dear, please send for the doctor and my lawyer." And she said, "Yes, dear, right away, dear." So off she went and she phoned and called the lawyer and the doctor and said, "George has requested that you come to his bedside immediately." She says, "He doesn't have long." So the doctor and the lawyer come to the house, and the wife shows them up to the bedroom, and George opens his eyes and looks at them and he gestures to them and he says to the doctor, he says, "Yeah, you come sit over here." And he points to a chair on the left side of the bed. And he says to the lawyer, "And you come sit over here on the right side in this chair." So the two men say hello to him and they go and they sit in the respective chairs, and George reaches out both hands to them and they each take one of his hands and he grabs onto their hands and holds on for dear life. And then he lays back against his pillow, closes his eyes with a little grin on his face, looks like he's beginning to pass. Well, of course, the doctor's sitting there thinking, like, why would he want me here? He blames me for the fact he's dying. He says I misdiagnosed him, he gave me the wrong medicines, I tried to treat him the wrong way. Every time he came to my office when he was healthy or whatever, he always grumbled about me being a quack and trying to feed him snake oil. I don't think he ever liked me, so what on earth does he want me here for when he's dying? And on the other side of the bed, of course, the lawyer's thinking the same thing. He says, "Why would he want me here? I sit in church every Sunday and he glares at me when he preaches against avarice and greed and vice and making mountains out of molehills and taking advantage of the downtrodden and the underprivileged. And he grumbles about my fees when he did his will, and then when he bought the house, and he's never been happy with me. He's always found fault and kind of wagged a finger at me, almost like I'm immoral or something. So why on earth would he want me here?" So the two men are sitting there and they kind of look at each other over the dying pastor. And finally the attorney can take it no longer. And he shakes George's hand. He says, George. And George opens one eye and looks at him. "George," he says, "why do you want me here? You hate me. You don't like me. You've always complained about me and said what a horrible person I am. Why on earth do you want me here when you're dying?" And before George can answer, the doctor pipes up and says, "Yeah, George, why do you want us here? You don't like me either. You always called me a quack and snake oil salesman and said I couldn't cure a cut on a worm. Why on earth do you want me here next to your bed when you're dying?" And the pastor closes his eyes, grips their hands even tighter, and says, "Gentlemen, my Savior died between two thieves, and I intend to do the same." There you go. There's your Groaner for the week. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great weekend, my friends. We'll see you on Tuesday for baking and for the draw of the winner of... Well, I haven't really told you what the prizes are they? Well, first place is a tactical belt pouch with a tactical flashlight and a whole bunch of other goodies inside, and another item that will go with it. And so I'm hoping whoever wins these prizes, whoever the 3 winners are, will, when they get them, will do a unboxing video and show what they got. So you got to know a little bit about what you're getting. The second prize is a very nice kitchen scale and some other, and we can use it for other things besides in the kitchen, and some other bits and bobs and goodies as well. And third place prize is a very nice collectible Route 66 cookbook. And it's recipes from lots of the different famous restaurants along Route 66, and some other goodies and bits and pieces and that to go along with that as well. So you know sort of one thing that you're getting, but the other things that you come along with it will be a surprise. So I hope whoever the 3 of you are that win first, second, and third will do a nice unboxing or mail call or whatever you want to call it when you get the items and show what you won. So tune in on Tuesday. Until then, have a fabulous weekend and take care, stay safe, and if you're in parts of the country like me, stay warm, and God bless.